into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah, we know you are.
I wasn't ready for this.
AfterBuzzers! Welcome to another edition of AfterBuzz TV's Monday Night Football.
Whoop.
I have a couple of new people on our panel tonight, but of course, our steadfast, my girl, Stef Z.
What's up, Stef
Back
Z?
from London. Tell them where they can find you on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else.
You guys can tweet me at IAMSTEFZ. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I appreciate your support from a lot of people. One person that tweets me quite often, I think one of our biggest fans.
Yes.
I think the number one fan. We love all you fans out there, don't get us wrong, but someone who is consistent with updating our facts, checking our facts, calling us out when we're wrong, congratulating us when we're right. He's here tonight.
Yes, he is. And that is Mr. Ben Lubbers, fantasy stat guru. Always checking us on our stats, Ben. We appreciate that.
It's very nice to be here. It's kind of a dream come true. Number one super fan for sure.
Yes.
You can find me at Fantasy Stat Guru. You find me in the comment section of all the AfterBuzz shows. It's a dream come true to be here.
Aw,
Yes.
Right,
we're happy
awesome.
you're here. We're happy you're joining us tonight. And he actually got to watch the game with
Yeah.
us, so we've been hanging out. He's our new BFF, so we're really happy about this.
Yeah.
And then our other newbie, you tell him who that
Next
is.
to him, Jonathan Meza. Tell him where they can find
yes,
you.
you can find me at KaibaCat, and that includes Instagram, Twitter, all those social media outlets at KaibaCat. It's a very sad night, so please send me something to console me. Send me something to make me laugh or make me smile because we went down hard.
Wait. Before we go any
Yeah.
further, you got cat in your handle.
Yes, KaibaCat. Yeah.
What? I don't understand.
Okay. Now it's an anime thing. I also do otaku anime or
Okay,
otaku
the
movie and
the
anime.
30-second version.
Yeah, this is it. It's otaku
Oh, it's just
movie and
that.
anime. It's just
All
that.
right, all
Yeah,
right,
I
fair
at
enough.
AfterBuzz. Come check out some anime. If you like anime, you could watch me review anime. That's right.
Oh, all
My
right.
son is named after an anime character, for crying out loud. I
All
love
right,
anime.
fair enough. Fair.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
back to football. Just
All
curious.
right, that's enough of that. Let's talk football.
Yes, and football we will. So tonight it was Chargers-Steelers. At home for the Chargers, lost literally in the last 5 seconds of the game. Very depressing. And we were at a Steelers bar, so...
It was supposed to be a Chargers bar. Is the thing that really killed me. It's a bar nearby. I was told it's a Chargers bar. I've been there for other games, and it's Charger fans. But today, just like at Qualcomm Stadium we saw, the Steelers
Yeah.
took over.
Yeah, it was. You know what though? I'm not gonna lie. This game overall, it had a little bit of a slow start, but it was a really fun game to watch. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't have a stake in the fight, but I feel like at the end, it's always exciting to see that team come back and to be like, oh my God, is it really gonna happen? And down to the 5 set, that's an exciting game. No matter you're both looking at me with daggers with these
No,
Chargers stuff.
not at all.
Yeah, but I thought it was me and Ben had a fun time watching it.
We enjoyed them struggling through the fight, but I mean, the second half had a lot more offense, and that's what's fun to watch. Yeah, defense wins championships, but the offense actually started going. They started moving Vick out of the pocket to get some throws deep. The game just kind of picked up when they actually started getting some points on the board.
Now, before we go any further, I have to say, Ben has a list of his top AfterBuzz after shows, and guess which one is number one?
This superfan
show.
has called
This
it
show.
out.
Monday Night Football, naturally. So, like he said, dream come true, I'm sure.
Definitely.
If your number one show is Monday Night Football, then...
He knows his stuff, though. We don't just take anyone to come on our panel, man.
They grilled me.
You know it. You passed the
I didn't
quiz.
have to grill you because you literally, every time I ever say, I'm not really sure about that stat, but blah, blah, later on in the comments is Fantasy Stat Guru. Well, Christina, let me educate you on this one.
Let me tell you something.
Thank you. The
Yeah.
best. We
Oh.
appreciate all of your hard work and your fantasy
I
stat.
appreciate your guys' hard work.
Yeah. I mean, we try. We try.
Yeah. We got it together for the most part, I think.
Yeah, no, speaking of offense, something that I think is interesting to note and interesting to really kind of talk about is the fact that Michael Vick and Antonio Brown have pretty much no chemistry and no connection whatsoever.
Nope. 4
targets in the first half, I think 1 in the second half. And I think he had 1 completion. What was that? I mean,
I've got a total of 5 targets, 3 receptions for roughly 50 yards, something around that. That's pretty pathetic when you've got the number 1 receiver essentially in the NFL, Antonio Brown. There's no chemistry between the two. I mean, if this was a romantic comedy, I mean, it would just be a dud.
Yeah, so Ben, do you think that it has something to do or a lot to do with the fact that Vick is a lefty and going from a right-handed with Big Ben to a left-handed with Michael Vick is just throwing off their chemistry?
I think that it does. It definitely has a effect on the ball, spiral, everything. But they talked about how Vick was out there practicing extra this week, trying to get people adjusted. They said a typical time is like two days, 2 practices worth of the different spiral, and they're caught up. They're NFL players, are going to catch the ball.
Yeah.
I think what they were doing was they were trying to play Ben Roethlisberger football with Vick as a quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. Because you saw that in the fourth quarter when they kind of let Vick go and let him move, let him get out of the pocket, let him scramble for that first down.
Oh, geez.
That's when he's successful.
Yep.
So you're right. I think you're spot on with that. Big Ben football with the Michael Vick quarterback is totally the issue. And I just gotta say, we've got some music going on.
What is this music?
I
was trying.
It sounds like something out of like DDR.
I don't think they're hearing it, so I think I hope that our engineer can hear us. I've sent a text, but clearly nobody got back to us.
Some strange music.
It feels good to be a Jets fan. That's right. There we go.
Wait, who said that?
It says, wait, go back to our chat.
Oh yeah, it really. Wait,
someone's got the music playing.
Okay,
Come on. It says, Andy.
And a Mets fan. No, boo, Andy.
Yeah, it feels good to be a Jets fan. That's right. Finally.
It was a rough night on both fronts for the Chargers.
You're fired, Andy.
Yeah.
No.
You know what though? But someone's got it right here, and this is the biggest thing with the Chargers. Oh, it's also Andy. Great. Perfect. Andy is right. Our Chargers offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah.
Guys, our offensive line, we can't get any running game going. And on top of that, the only passes that we could really get are short dumps over the middle. Like, it was ugly.
Phillip Rivers just seems, I mean, again, it's your guys' team. We still got the music engineer.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
It seems like there's something going on with him. He just doesn't seem together.
Well,
is there like problems in the locker room or anything that you guys
honestly, I think, and they were Mike Tirico and Gruden were talking about this before the game that, or I think it was them. Yeah, it was on the pregame, or no, it was on the pregame show before Monday Night Football. They were talking about there's a lot of uncertainty with being a Charger right now. You go to Pittsburgh, you know you're going to stay in Pittsburgh. You're going to be a Steeler in Pittsburgh. They don't know what's happening with the Chargers right now. There's a lot of talks about moving to LA, which obviously I would love that.
Come to LA, please.
But would they be the LA Chargers or still the San Diego? Because they're talking about moving the Raiders too.
No, I think they'd be the Los Angeles Chargers, unless they change it and do something retarded like they do with the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Come on.
It's the Anaheim Angels. It would have to be the Los Angeles Chargers. They couldn't have the Los Angeles Chargers or
the San Diego.
That wouldn't even make sense though, because San Diego's a different county and city altogether. But anyway, so yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. And Phillip Rivers has voiced his what's the word? He doesn't want to move to LA.
He doesn't want to move to LA.
Yeah. So I think maybe that has a lot to do with it. Is just he's not.
He doesn't have to move to LA though. I mean, how many guys live an hour and a half away from their stadium?
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't mean that their training camp's going to be there.
But with 8 children at home, he kind of
man,
probably
that's his
would
problem,
want to
man.
close by.
He does have a posse hanging out with him at all times.
Yeah, but
I don't know. But to speak to the O-line, I mean, the pocket collapsed on him multiple times tonight, and he just had nowhere to go. So it's I don't know if it's 100% that he's taking a step back, or if it's just he doesn't really have much protection or time.
It really is that. I mean, I'm really seeing the lack of protection. And because it's just not just in the passing game where he has to do short dumps. It's in the run game. You see that Melvin Gordon, who's very explosive but can't find a hole because he has no patience, unlike Le'Veon Bell. Yeah. Like, he really can't get any real momentum going, because once he takes a few steps out of there, I mean, he's grabbed by 12 different arms, which is 6 people.
Yeah, Gordon's definitely the one cut back that he goes through the hole, makes one person miss with a cut, and then he's gone. But that's why they had been using Woodhead so much. Coming into the game, Woodhead had more snaps than Gordon, who's supposed to be their future running back. So, I mean, if Woodhead's getting most of the carry, that means that they need patience. They need quickness to try and get around the people that are the linemen that are coming up field and making them dart or cut back early.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Woodhead has been extremely successul for them all season so far. I mean, I know we're only in week 5, but I meant to look at
I got it.
Well, yeah, tell me what are his final stats on the night.
Oh, I don't know on the night, but coming into the game, he's had 50 yards receiving per game and 35 yards rushing per game. So he's definitely the receiving back, but he's playing more than just third downs.
Totally.
Yeah.
And now I think it's kind of, you saw it a little bit towards the end of the game, I feel like, that maybe Melvin Gordon is turning into the third down back, where he comes, because he had a couple of like dominant punches towards the end, but in the beginning of the game, the first like 2 to 3 quarters, he wasn't really going anywhere. The Steelers defense just completely stopped the run game.
Yeah.
So maybe there's going to be a switch now where Danny Woodhead will be the number 1 back and Melvin Gordon will come in as a third down back for them.
Can we talk Danny Woodhead, though? I mean, that guy, he's a little machine.
Yeah.
He is.
I love that guy. I've liked him. I mean, the Jets, we released him. The Patriots picked him up. He's always, which I was right.
You did. You
Fantasy
got me.
stats guru, I was right earlier.
I swapped those earlier.
But I feel like he's a little guy, but he shows up, and he's just, it's almost like he's so little you can't catch him. He's got the quickness. He's got the determination.
He's Darren
Sproles.
I was just going to
exactly
say
right.
that. Yeah, so it's like, but I like to see him. He's one of those players for me, at least, that no matter where he is, you want to see him doing well.
Yeah. He's a very, on top of being a talented player, especially for a little guy, a talented, quick player, he's a likable player.
Yeah.
And that always carries well. Darren Sproles is a likable player, I mean, that goes a long, long way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I don't know if you guys watched his pregame interview with Jay Gruden. I forget, maybe you might know, Ben, the name of the college that Danny went to.
I don't.
A small college. He had 8,000 rushing yards in high school and wasn't really drafted or, wasn't really looked at by anybody big. Then he went to some small college, or maybe it was 8,000 rushing yards in college. I can't remember. This is where we need you usually.
Stat Guru, but he's in the studio.
I
He can't
know,
look it up
so-
right now.
I know. I can't be on my computer.
This is really
Help us at
difficult.
home, I guess. You got to take the place at least for
Anybody
one.
else?
Take my spot.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
So regardless, he played really well. He wasn't even drafted, wasn't talked to by anyone going into the draft, didn't get invited to the combine, like just kind of snuffed. And so now having such a successful, basically, he kind of made something out of nothing with his career, whereas I don't know, people just kind of always told him he wouldn't be successful, and then
Right.
now he's doing so great, and it's great to see a guy like so small that can make an impact in on a team like that, and hopefully will bring hope for other short kids out there. Like apparently
That's
Jay
true.
Gruden's kid is short. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? Lionel Messi, he's a great short soccer player, and you know what? There's something that about being short and quick. When you're short, strong, and quick, it's hard to take you down. You're thick and you're strong and you're quick, and it's really hard to get your hands on you.
Yeah, but
the
in
final
soccer,
score someone was asking, it's 24-20. 24.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, Steelers won 24-20 with 5 seconds left. Le'Veon Bell punched it over the line.
And we were having a discussion in the bar. I'm like, no, they're not going to do a Seahawks. They're going to give it to their stud
Right.
back. They're not going to pull a Super Bowl. They have to give it to the back. Some people's like, oh, just throw it to Gate or throw it to Heath Miller.
I
like
thought
we got
Vick
down
was
there.
gonna try and
Vick
push
was gonna
through
throw
for
it
it.
in.
Yeah, I thought Vick would too.
At that point, you can't kick the field goal with only an inch to go. So
Hey, Colt, I agree with you. Wheaton is not terrible. I had him on my fantasy team. So that one long catch for a touchdown really helped me solidify my win. So
Wheaton's all right. He's all right.
And that was one of the first plays that I saw them take Vick out of the pocket. They transitioned to the launching point to somewhere where he actually had space. He wasn't getting pressured by any of the defensive linemen, and he had the option to run, but he saw someone streaking down the field, and hit it for a big shot.
That's what he does his best.
Yeah, because I felt like the Chargers defense played pretty well tonight. Do you guys agree with that?
For the most part, yeah, I would say that.
I mean, obviously the last play was.
Yeah, but the last
great,
play
but-
is a good play by Pittsburgh
Right.
rather than a bad play. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it doesn't. The stats don't really tell the true story because
Right.
it's like you only see black or white with that. You know, and it's like at the end of the day, it was a really good play on offense.
You know, what it seemed though in the first half, our defensive line were getting a lot of hits on Vick. I mean, Vick was getting pushed around, he was getting hit, he was getting beaten up. Even in that second half, we weren't really touching him a whole lot. Granted, he was scrambling well and he was getting outside of the pocket, but we were not getting hands on him. And that was a huge change in the game because after that, you saw him actually complete some passes, which in the first half, he really did not.
Yeah.
Really did not.
I felt like too though there, to switch the tables around, we did have a lot of pressure. I mean, we've said the San Diego offensive line is terrible, but Phillip Rivers, I mean, some of the throws that he made off his back foot, or like it's sad because he looks like he has what he takes to be a star quarterback, but he just doesn't have the rest of the piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and that offensive line, they're getting bull rushed. They weren't even getting swim moves going around. He couldn't step up in the pocket because they were going right up the middle at him. That's why he was off his back foot so often. And I mean, a lot of these good old quarterbacks, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, all those, they need to be able to step up so that they can have some momentum on and give their arm strength a possibility to get the ball out there.
Yeah, it comes from your legs. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real. It comes from your
Well, but that's the
body.
thing too. The thing that I did notice about Rivers that I wasn't, that I thought wasn't the best was I feel like a lot of those veteran quarterbacks that you talk about, like the Peyton Mannings, like those people, they're constantly moving in the pocket.
Yes.
Even if they have nowhere to go, there's constant movement. And I feel like Rivers, I mean, I get the pocket collapsed on him a few times, but I feel like there wasn't a lot of movement because he knew it was like he only had a very small safe space. So no matter what that was, he was just kind of there. And then when the pocket collapsed, he had nowhere to go.
Well, he's not really a mobile quarterback
Exactly,
to begin
exactly.
with.
Right,
so
and then
that's-
with the bad O-line, it was like a double whammy for
Right,
him.
so
Yeah.
he's kind of stuck there, and you saw that multiple times happen to him where he's just stuck.
Right.
So, whereas Vic is a perfect example. When they let him be the mobile quarterback that he is, he's very successful.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many points in fantasy Michael Vick had for anyone tonight, but
It didn't seem like a ton. I mean, he only threw one. He threw one touchdown, and he didn't run any in. I mean, really, Bell did all the damage in today's game. I mean, it
Yeah.
was
He definitely
Le'Veon
did
Bell,
all the
Le'Veon
damage.
Bell, and then I have here Le'Veon Bell, and then Le'Veon Bell. Yeah.
even though, even Bell, though, 111 yards, one touchdown,
Yeah.
that's like not even that good for him, to be honest.
Isn't that
Like,
crazy?
So
That's absurd.
He's a machine.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we have fantasy stat guru here, so we know that he's a fan of fantasy football.
Definitely.
And I know you guys are fans too, so if you haven't gone to DraftKings yet, you should, because DraftKings is great. If your team is not doing so well right now in all your other fantasy leagues, you can go to DraftKings, do a weekly fantasy football team, pick up whoever you want that week. If they get injured, you don't have to worry about it. You got a brand new team next week. And AfterBuzz is giving you a promo code, so you can play for free. The code of naturally, of course, is BUZZ, B-U-Z-Z. So go to DraftKings.com. Use the promo code BUZZ for your chance to win millions of dollars. They have millions of dollars up for grab stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a new $1 million winner every single week.
Yeah, they
every
do.
week they pick, and a new person is a $1 million winner. So yeah, like we said, just enter BUZZ as your entry code at DraftKings.com.
Yeah, welcome to the big time.
DraftKings.com.
You know how I talked about the dream come true with being here? That's actually my dream come true.
Winning
Yeah,
$1 million.
winning those,
Yeah,
all
I
the time.
definitely
and then we
work
get
at
a cut.
DraftKings.
And then we get a cut.
I'll definitely feed it to
He's
you.
like, I'll think about that.
You know what? If you play DraftKings and you win the $1 million, all I want, Jets season tickets.
I think that we can do that. I think so.
All right,
Nice.
I like that.
I might go to a game with you even.
I would go with you to every single game.
You bought the
I
ticket.
You don't have to go to all of
I'm
them.
not gonna go to every Jets game.
You get.
I'll pick a different team to have season passes.
Perfect.
To.
Probably the Lions, I'm assuming,
Yes,
right?
that's
We
my
play you
team.
guys.
But
Oh, we already did.
Yeah, let's make it a good point to mention that Ben here is a Lions fan, so he is the most depressed
No.
fan in the United States
Yes,
right now. I'm very
yes.
sorry. I mean, I'm glad you're here, but dear Lord.
Hashtag Detroit versus everybody.
yeah, I mean, we do have some bad beats. We beat ourselves, but there's just some circumstances that it happens.
But I gotta say, being being a Jets fan,
same,
I
very
understand.
similar.
We have a very similar, and you know what? You can tell a person's character by who their team is.
Yes.
You can, if you have a Lions fan and a Jets fan that are willing to talk about it, that's one loyal person. They know how to lose. They know how to pick it up when it drops.
You really
and
know
keep
how
going.
to lose. That's
Hey man, I'm just saying. I actually think my record's better than yours right now, but
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
I'm just saying we're good people, so we're happy to have you.
Yes, definitely. And we mentioned Le'Veon Bell a little bit earlier. I want to mention something. So LaDainian Tomlinson, best running back for the Chargers ever. Best running or probably top 5 running back. Best. I can't speak right now.
Top 5 running back in the NFL.
Yes, in history. So
Do you think he'll get beat though? Like, how long do you think he'll hold on to that top 5 with these new guys coming up?
No, I will say he will not hold on to it as long as we think, because of his last few seasons under Norv Turner that killed Tomlinson's career. Killed his career. He was still fantastic. He was still a great back, and we saw that even because when he got traded to the Jets, he still ran incredibly well at like 32 years old, but under a Norv Turner offense, it just ruined him.
Well, yeah, I know it's a similar circumstance, but not for Terrell Davis, who was just got injured, and that ended his career. Yeah. But he still will go down as one of the best backs in history. I'm lucky enough to work with him every day at NFL Network. He is a true A-class human being. But anyway, so LaDainian Tomlinson said last year that Le'Veon Bell he said his quotes, "Let me just say this, right now I would take Le'Veon Bell over any running back in the league. He can do it all, people. He can run inside. He has the speed to turn the corner. He can catch the football. He's versatile. He's athletic. I love Le'Veon Bell." So interesting stats to compare the two. In their first 31 games, rushing yards per game, 77.8 for Bell, 92 for Tomlinson. Receiving yards per game, 43 for Bell, 27 for Tomlinson. Scrimmage yards per game, 121.2 for Bell, 119 for Tomlinson. Total touchdowns, 21 for Bell, 25 for Tomlinson. So relatively even in the touchdown category and the scrimmage yards, but receiving yards, Bell has quite a bit more. Right. And I think you mentioned that earlier, Ben, that he's able to catch a lot more balls, and which makes him versatile, like LT
especially
said.
in this day and age. Everyone's running out of the backfield using their backs to catch passes just because it makes the mismatches.
Yeah.
Like tight ends and running backs on linebackers are mismatches every day of the week. Right. So it just to get those fast people on and making space. That's the way the NFL is leaning, and Le'Veon Bell is one of the best at it.
Yeah. I wonder why it took so long for them to figure that out.
What?
To do plays like that.
It was really the rule changes over the past few years. We've seen this become a passing league, and so of course now you're going to have quick backs coming out of the backfield and work well in a passing league. This is built for quarterbacks.
Keith
What do we got?
Lubbers is saying big shout out to Fantasy Stat Guru. Is that your dad?
Is that your dad?
Yes, we love your son and all of his knowledge. So
always embarrassing, man.
Oh, come on. No, that's great. We're happy to have Fantasy Stat Guru Senior watching us as well.
Where is he? Back home in Michigan right now?
Yeah, back home in Michigan.
Sweet, staying up late for us.
Yes, we
it's
appreciate that.
past midnight over there.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, thanks, pops.
So, okay, I need to know then, Ben. Do you think that Le'Veon Bell is the best back in the NFL right now, or do you think someone else is better?
I think so. I mean, the best all-around back, yes. I think you can put up Peterson, some like Jamal Charles, some of the big pounding backs that can get the job done when it's like inches. I was a little worried that Le'Veon wouldn't get in because he kept patiently waiting. Sometimes people come off the edge and they don't have that chance. He is patient. He gets a lot of the big bursts, but I think some of the big pounding backs are good in different situations. And then you have people like Vereen and Woodhead and other people that can do the passing stuff and do the quickness. He's got both. He's not the best at either, but overall, yes, I think he's the best. What
you said when we were watching the game was Bell's patience, and that's what you mentioned a little bit here, and that's the biggest thing that seems to set him apart is the fact that he really lets the blocks work out and dictate where he's going to go, so that he always finds space.
Yes, and the chemistry with his linemen is still building. Like a lot of the linemen I saw in an article, they said they know that they need to hold on to their block that little extra because he'll make it worth it. And so they said their arms were sore after some of their blocks because they were holding on to them so long. Whereas like somebody else that's just straight downhill, they just got to get that first burst, and then they can just kind of relax and go with them.
Yeah. I've got to say one that you might have missed is Chris Ivory.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
He's having a good year.
He's having a good year. Maybe future you can put him in there.
I'm just saying he's having a good year.
He's having a good year.
Well, check back with me in 2 years.
Even if you
Jets fan.
from the Lions fan.
That's true. That's true.
I
It's
just
kinda
try to throw
hard.
it in. You guys, if it was a terrible Jets fact, you guys would definitely throw it in. So now
I
that
need
we have
Kevin.
something
I need
good-
Kevin John here so I can make fun of his Niners or something.
Yeah,
I know.
They're the only ones
Jeez.
that are looking
1-4.
just as bad.
Gosh, Kevin John, we miss you, but
do.
yeah,
But you're Niners, man.
We
You're gonna owe me
we miss
$100.
you more because we can't make fun of you because
Yes,
your Niners
that
suck
is
so
that's
bad.
the worst part.
Yeah.
Yes, but okay, so one more Steelers topic, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the Chargers.
Oh,
of
please.
course. But Martavis Bryant, this was the first week he was supposed to be back from his suspension, was injured, did not play. Ugh. What do you expect from Martavis Bryant going forward, Ben? Do you think he's going to make as big of an impact as people are thinking?
I think so. I mean, just because a lot of times people are focusing on that number one receiver. Number one receivers get the money because they earn it. If they aren't double covered, they're going to make plays. And I think we saw that today, and that Wheaton and even Hayward Bay had a couple large catches in the late parts of that game because they're double teaming Antonio Brown, expecting it to go there.
Right.
So yeah, Vic's not having any chemistry with him. It's bad. You're going to need to get your best offensive player going, or best wide receiver going, but I think he opens everything up. And so with another deep threat on the other side who's going to have single coverage, I don't know if Vic has the deep throw that will help that out, but with Roethlisberger was still in there,
That's a tough
he
name.
would definitely be able to get that deep throw on the opposite side of the field of Brown for some big plays.
Well, we
Why do
know. Oh, I was just gonna say, hopefully Ben will be back week 10. That's what they're thinking.
Why do you think that chemistry is so off? I mean, we talked earlier about because when you switch from a right-handed quarterback to a left-handed quarterback, there's a different chemistry, there's a different way to catch, everything like that. But why do you think the chemistry is so off between them? You would think that Michael Vick having to step up and come into play this role because Roethlisberger's hurt, that he would figure out in 3 weeks how to have chemistry with your quote-unquote star receiver.
I mean, maybe there's something going on in the locker room. That's all I can think of, because there was one shot tonight where the two of them were sitting on the bench together after I think they were forced to punt or whatever, and Antonio Brown and both him and Vic looked like disinterested in talking to each other and kind of like talking about the play, but it didn't look like there was any kind of, what can we do? How do we mess up? Let's
No
figure this out.
camaraderie there.
Yeah, it was
Right.
there looks like there might have been a little bit of tension there with them. So maybe there's something going on in the locker room. But interesting stats, without Martavis Bryant in 2014, the Steelers are 8-2 with him and 3-3 without him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So pretty big difference there, but I mean, he played really well in the preseason too.
Good.
Yeah.
So I think you're right that having another deep threat out there will be beneficial to their offense. Hopefully Big Ben will be back. I mean, Vic played okay, only really in the fourth quarter is when he started playing well.
But at the end of the day, they won the game, and if
Yeah.
they
It's
can
true.
keep winning games, it doesn't have to be pretty. As long as
Hey,
they can
you
keep
know
winning
what?
games until Big Ben comes back, they'll be
True.
all right.
You know what? Speaking of, someone from Detroit, your basketball team won real ugly a couple years back, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you win. You can
It's
win
true.
ugly, just take the W.
Yeah.
And Vic can only grow in his chemistry. I mean, every route was just a little bit off. I mean, it's a game of inches, and if you're not with that receiver for reps and reps and reps, you don't know their get out of a break speed. So if they're getting out of break at 10 yards and coming back to 8 yards, if you're throwing it at 9, it's going to be incompletion every single time. It's just, you got to know the ins and outs of which receiver you're throwing to, and that takes time.
yeah. No, I agree.
Well, speaking of receivers, the receiver Phillip Rivers' receivers lead the NFL in yards after catch with 771 and average yards after catch with 7.8. And you was it you, Ben, that said they should be called the Yak?
The Yaks, yeah. When they
Yeah.
go to LA,
Yaks.
I mean, they need to change a team name too. The Los Angeles Yaks.
Yeah.
Play on words, but I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, because so with the quarterbacks with the highest percentage of passing yards after the catch this season, Phillip Rivers has 771. The next closest would be Alex Smith with 711.
But you know why that is? Is because Phillip Rivers, almost every pass is a dump over the middle, which leaves them a lot of room to sort of run and pick up the Yaks, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, a big reason. When you have no offensive line, you're running screens and you're running dumps, and so, yeah, you're going to have room to run.
Yeah, they definitely built the team around knowing that they were going to be doing quick throws. They want that yard after catch. Last week, they had 10.1 yards per catch after yard.
Wow.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like another first down every time they catch the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's crazy. And
But
then
it didn't work for him tonight.
No,
At the end of
they
the day,
definitely
it
did
didn't
get
work.
limited.
Yeah, it's like you can only do that for so long until people realize just have someone there.
Well, not only that, I mean, once you get into a red zone and you're dealing with a shorter field, you can't even go 10 yards. That the whole dump concept is kind of over. You're actually going to have to like try to run some real nice plays to create a foot of space so you can fit a ball through.
But I don't understand too, because I remember Rivers having an arm. What's happening with him? Why are they not trying for the long ball?
What, they don't have no protection. They don't have any protection
doesn't
for
have
Phillip
time.
Rivers.
Okay, he
doesn't
That's
have
what
time
it
to get
is.
it off.
Stand
Yeah,
up.
we saw it tonight. That center, I mean, the whole center of their offensive line is
collapses
just
on 'em.
collapsing.
Yeah.
and
It's terrible.
They haven't had the deep threats. Gates and Floyd are their two deep threats. Floyd has been out, and
Yeah.
Gates just
Yeah.
returned too. Which, I mean, talking about Gates, he had 2 touchdowns, number 100 and 101 in his career. That's what, like 9th person to have 100 receiving catches, and 22nd person in the NFL to have 100 touchdowns total.
Do you know how many he has with Rivers as his quarterback?
70. Okay, so his first one was 73, and his second one was 74, and that's number 1 in all of NFL for a quarterback to tight end tandem.
Wow.
I mean, Gronkowski, Brady's are coming up on that. I think they might pass it eventually, depending on how
Probably.
long
Right.
Brady plays. But I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
I know Gates had a monster game returning, and it's a bummer. I feel like the Chargers run game, and I feel like it really has just been like this ever since, I mean, LT left. They haven't really had a very strong run game. And Melvin Gordon is promising, but I think there's still he runs right up the middle. He doesn't really like move. He can't find the hole just yet. He can't. I don't know exactly what the issue is. I mean,
I think he seems like a young running back, which he is, and he's incredibly explosive. He's powerful. He's fast, and really explosive is the word. He just seems to kablamo through anything. But he's not patient. I mean, that's a big thing. Which you can see
the difference.
Yeah, and it's a big thing when you watch him next to Le'Veon Bell. You see that difference. He's not patient. He doesn't let blocks set up. He just tries to like barrel through things, which he's strong enough to break through 1 or 2 tackles. But when you've got
but he's
4
not
guys,
like a Marshawn Lynch
Yeah.
who can
no,
break
he's
every
not a
tackle.
beast mode.
Like,
He's not. He's a young guy who's got a lot of promise, but at this point, he doesn't have a great offensive line with him, and he's not going to do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, it's definitely the meshing between the offensive line and the running back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Makes me sad. It makes me sad, especially because we had a fumble tonight with him, and then we had a drop, and that really sucks.
it's not too bad. I mean, because you do see those sparks, those moments of promise, and he's a rookie, so there's time to learn, there's time to mature, there's time to get better. So it's not like he's been like this for the last 3 seasons, and it's like, oh well, this guy's probably never change. He just, I think, maybe needs more experience. So
Yeah.
then maybe putting him at that third down back, having him kind of take a back seat to Danny Woodhead. And where was what's his face? Oh my God, I always forget his name. Brandon? No, not Brandon. Our other running back that played when Matthews was injured last year.
Oh, who
Brown,
did we
I
used to have
think.
Brown, Battle, Brown.
No,
Brown?
it's
think
Butler. No. God, I forget his
had Brown,
I forget
we
his
had
Pretty
name.
sure it was
Last year.
Brown.
Is he even on the team?
I think I saw an article about them bringing him back on the team off the practice squad or something, but no, I didn't see him in the game at all today, so I don't
Yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
think that's
see
an
him
option
either.
for him.
Yeah.
So-
Anyone at home see him? No. Nothing?
Yeah, so obviously the Chargers run game just needs a lot of work.
What are we ranked? What are we ranked in terms of the run game? 'Cause we look
Yeah,
terrible.
let's see, fantasy stat guru
What
over
is
here.
it?
I don't have the update since I was with you guys. I don't have the updated through this game.
But what do we have it prior
going
to?
into the game? rush yards, you were 20th with 407.
Okay, we were 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not horrible.
Well, I mean,
but...
It's not. It's
Your
not
rush
the best.
defense was 28th.
But we actually, I felt like the defense, I mean, even though Le'Veon Bell rushed for 111 yards, I felt like they did a relatively good job at containing him for the most part.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say that.
wasn't
Yeah, they totally contained him.
Wasn't bad.
Obviously, the last play,
Right, but
they
again,
had him, but he rolled out like a good back does.
Exactly.
And so we kind of couldn't really stop him there. But aside from the tight end, we talked about the tight end, we talked about the running backs. Now our wide receivers for the Chargers. Keenan Allen did a little bit tonight, late in the game, not really much. Jacoby Jones, our punt returner, that...
Yeah,
I don't know why he's on the team.
I didn't even. We brought this up when we were watching. I didn't even realize we had Jacoby Jones. That is, to me, I mean, it's so disappointing that we have Jacoby Jones. Maybe I blocked it. I don't want the fact that we have this man who is way past his prime, who the Ravens knew, that he was done. Like, why?
Yeah, but Ben said,
he's still that cheap.
What did they say, Ben, about Jacoby?
There was an article in ESPN.com or something that said they were hoping that Jacoby Jones would spark their special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a fantasy mentality. You're taking a flyer on a guy thinking, oh, maybe he's going to be awesome. I mean, in fantasy, oh, he's not. I'll drop him. You can't do that on a regular team. You have to pick people that are proven and have the good still. I mean, he's old. He's not going to be able to.
But who else could they have picked up? It's
there
like sometimes
are fast people out there.
Yeah,
That can catch a
sometimes it's though I
football.
feel like they want those vets to try and show somebody else how it's done, but it's just a complete terrible move.
Kick returning is all about speed and quickness. I mean,
True.
I would have rather have Danny Woodhead returning, frankly. I mean,
That's not a bad call. That's not a bad call.
Yeah, but I think
and it's ball security.
He's taking the majority of the snaps or the majority of the balls right now as for running back, so I don't think he really can. I don't know if they'd want to have him on punt return as well.
Look, when we had Darren Sproles out there, I mean, we were running him ragged all over the place, just like the Saints did, and he set this, what was it called? He set the record for scrimmage yards in a season.
Yeah.
It's a smart move. If you have a player like that, utilize that player.
Right.
It's you've got Melvin Gordon. I know you want to develop him, but you got to win games. This is the NFL. It's about winning.
Yeah.
The point is to win the game.
Yeah. No,
So
I agree.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So at this point, what do you think, Ben? I'll start with you. What do you think the Chargers' biggest issue is right now?
I think it's definitely got to be offensive line. I mean, even their defensive line, they got some good things going today, I think, but that rush defense needs to work, and their offensive line needs to keep Phillip Rivers able to step up in his pocket to deliver his throws. He can't just dump it off every time, or they're going to sit on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny that. Everything we're talking about comes back to the offensive line. Everything. The run game, offensive line. The pass game, offensive line. Everything. Giving Keenan Allen room to run, offensive line. And the defense, if we had a really, really strong defense, it might be okay, too, if we can get a nice, strong pass rush. Look how we did in the first half because our pass rush was working. But then it all fell apart. So, I mean, we could be the Giants of the old when they beat the Patriots and killed them in that perfect season. Just have a great pass rush and an offense that could do enough, but right now we don't have either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm beating the dead horse.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the offensive line. I really don't think that it stood out that your D was that bad tonight.
No,
Again,
I
I don't feel like...
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I don't feel like
Couple big
there's...
plays.
I feel like they can hang their heads high, they did a good job. There was just good plays made every now and then, and the fact because Michael Vick can scramble and he can make stuff happen, that wasn't allowed for Rivers to make happen because that offensive line was collapsing. That's not always necessarily the D's fault as much as Michael Vick's a mobile quarterback. Not a amazing, consistent quarterback, but he can get out of sticky situations sometimes. So I feel like that's what was happening for the D.
Yeah, I feel like it's a growing trend, if you want to call it that, in the NFL right now, where we have a lot of pretty terrible offensive lines that are not the Lions is a perfect example. Stafford has zero time to throw the ball, and he's still doing, he's still getting the ball out.
I don't know, he threw 4 picks this week, was that? Before he went down?
3, and then he got pulled.
Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Orlovsky.
I mean, do you guys agree with me? I feel like more often than not, that's the major issue for a lot of these teams is their O-line is just giving their quarterback zero protection.
I think the D-lines are such a huge point of emphasis now that they're developing them and that they're kind of outmatching a lot of O-lines.
Yeah.
It's rare to find an O-line that can handle one like a J.J. Watt or somebody that's like a
Except the Patriots.
Premium. Yeah, that's good. The premium.
Tom Brady has all time in the
D-lines.
world.
True.
So that's why you're seeing in the drafts. If you look at the drafts, how many offensive tackles are going in the top 8 picks?
Yeah.
A lot. Because when you find a good one, you need them.
Yeah.
You got to guard that blind spot.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see, for perfect example, the Cowboys last year. I mean, DeMarco Murray
fantastic
is
offensive line.
a shell of himself this year on the Eagles because he does not have nearly as much time or open space to run as the Cowboys O-line provided him. Yeah, so it seems like you would want to actually work on that.
They say in the NFL that the battle is won right there in the center. The battle is won in the center. There are a lot of coaches who specifically watch just which way the lines are moving because that's how you dictate the way the game is going to go. And so, of course, if your offensive line is getting killed, then, you've lost the game, essentially. Yeah, and you're right. I love that example of the Cowboys last year. Boy, what a line. DeMarco Murray ran 75%. He was always running at 75%, it looked like. He was always looked like he was derping around because he didn't even need to run at 100% to get a 100-yard game.
Well, but not only that, I mean, you can just tell how important the offensive line is because you look at DeMarco Murray, who's the same player for Dallas last year, and you look at what he's doing this year for the Eagles. It was a complete flip.
Yeah.
And it does have that offensive line. But yeah, the only offensive line that stands out to me, and I hate to say it, is the Patriots. Tom Brady has all the time in the world to do what he wants with the ball.
Yeah, he
The
does.
Broncos too. Peyton Manning has a lot of time to do what he wants with the ball.
This season is a little rougher. I think the Broncos' offensive line is not looking great this season. Actually, their defense was just keeping them together a little bit.
Defense is doing everything.
Yeah, but I still feel like Peyton Manning not being a mobile quarterback. I mean, maybe, yes, you're correct. Like, I agree with you that it's not as good as last year, but it's one that stands out that he's a quarterback that usually has time.
And
I can't think of any others.
Yeah, they're good at navigating the pocket, though. That we get back to being where we were talking about Phillip Rivers not doing the little movements. He's not a mobile quarterback, but he's got to do the little step-ups, the little side steps, the changing the point of launch to get away from where the rush is coming.
Yeah, you see even Peyton Manning when he moves, it's this. I gotta stay on mic.
But he's still moving.
Yeah, I know, but you see Phillip Rivers. I love Phillip Rivers and all, but homeboy can't walk. Like, I don't know what's going on. I love watching him try to actually run for some yards. He looks like my grandfather. Like, he can't run. Peyton Manning can't really run either, but he knows how to move within the pocket. Phillip Rivers just seems to collapse. Peyton Manning does that too sometimes, but, Phillip's worse.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's really nothing you can do now. I think the trade deadline has passed. Or is coming up very quickly, and
do you hear the dismay from the Charger fans right now?
Well, it's just I didn't really expect much from this team, and I'm not trying to sound like a glass half empty type person, but I just didn't expect much from this team. Anyways, there's not a lot of I thought Melvin Gordon was a great pick, but he's so young. He still clearly needs a lot of experience and practice, and so it's just. There's still a lot of rebuilding there for them, and I think the whole kind of uncertainty of where the team's going to be is causing a little bit of an issue in the locker room as well. It's just my guess.
In what world do we live in that the happiest person at this table is a Jet fan?
Oh my gosh, what the heck? Good point.
And that's why I love you, Ben.
It's an alternate universe here.
Yeah.
That's right. My Jets are going to the Super Bowl. What?
No, I'm not going that far.
I did predict it last year, and I'm going to win $100 from Kevin John because I'm going to have a better season than he is.
Well, that's true. We know the Jets will have a better season than the 49ers, 100%.
You know what's really cool, though, that I really like to see is I kind of think that if Roethlisberger doesn't heal, he's totally got a future in coaching.
Right?
Oh yeah, he was out there on the last play of the game.
Like, calling the plays out there. He had the little paper over his way. He like has it down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There was not a
he's
coach
like-
to be seen, and Roethlisberger was telling him what to do.
Yeah, they had Big Ben
loved it.
talking to Vick and Le'Veon, like, all right, we
Yeah.
have one timeout left. That's what I could hear, the one thing that I could read out of his lips.
Which was
But-
kind of awesome, though.
Totally. And
I
he
liked
got
it.
I love seeing guys that when they're injured being on the sidelines with their team,
definitely.
cheering, getting excited. It's nice to see that you're still down. I mean, because Marshawn Lynch was up in the box for the
Yeah.
last game that he didn't
Yeah,
play.
I
was
saw
like,
that.
Marshall Lynch don't care. He's eating
Alright.
Skittles.
Yeah.
Don't care about nothing.
But you see
Yeah.
the greats, and not that Marshawn Lynch isn't a great. He is a great, but he's, you know, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about the guy because I love the guy, but I feel like he's more of someone that's to himself.
Yeah.
But you see normally when there's a quarterback or the leader is on the field, and Marshawn is a leader on the field too. I'm not trying to say he's not, but you see like Ben, you see Tony Romo hurt on the sideline all the time.
Definitely.
You see Dez on the sideline rallying. You know, you see these guys that are the veterans. They're laying down the way it's supposed to be. So I really liked seeing Ben get involved like that.
Marshawn's here just so he doesn't get fined.
Yeah,
Let's be
no,
real.
but yeah.
Sorry, I was just trying to read what Andy's saying. Something
What do we
about DeMarco isn't getting the touches this year either. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
sure.
He
Oh,
obviously
definitely.
got a lot more touches last year. Washington has played pretty good. What games are you watching?
Yeah, dude.
The Redskins are horrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about our predictions
You're banned.
for next week.
Yes.
Ooh, is that the
we got
predictions?
it.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. I'm waiting for this.
We
This
got
is
like
exciting.
a little. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yes, and
I like
Ben
that.
mentioned last week we did not predict our winners. Obviously, I was
Yeah.
going to pick the Chargers, so I was wrong. I think I'm 2-1 now.
You were 1-1. Yeah, you were 2-0, and Stef Z was 1-1.
Yeah,
so now you're
so now
2-1.
Wait,
But
would
I
you
wasn't-
chose the chart. We can't.
You can't do it after
We
the
can't
fact.
do it 'cause
No,
she
so let's just
might
make
have.
pretend that we did. So,
So, yeah,
I mean,
so
just start over from
let's-
scratch.
let's start
Let's
from-
do predictions for the rest of the
Yes.
year.
You know
Okay,
what?
let's
New
start
host
over
with
now.
you guys. Let's start over.
Yeah.
I like that.
let's
Here we
start
go.
over.
I got to get my numbers
So
right
we
here.
have next week Monday Night Football will be Giants at Eagles. Ben, we'll start with you. Who are you taking?
That's probably the toughest out of the three
It
coming
is.
up.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
hard.
tough.
Giants have been playing well. They threw a couple games away, but that's just kind of what they do.
And then the uncertainty of Odell Beckham Jr.
Exactly.
Even playing.
That's
Yeah.
true. That does make a big difference. I think the Eagles are playing a lot better. I think the offense that they had in mind for the beginning of the year is starting to click a little bit. Not how they thought it was, but I think it's going to be doing a little bit better. So I'm going to pick Eagles.
Okay, so then we'll just let you go through all three.
yeah.
Chargers at Packers. I already know who you're gonna pick.
I hate the Packers. I'm a Lions fan, but at Lambeau, you have to pick the Packers.
Yeah, and then Steelers at home against the Cardinals.
The way the Cardinals looked against the Detroit game, I was glad I was on the plane over here to not watch it. But yeah, the Cardinals are looking good. Carson Palmer's kind of revitalized. You keep thinking he's gonna get old, but he's one of those wily old veterans that pulls it out, and Fitzgerald's joining him and on the old man train, and they're working it. So definitely Cardinals on this one too.
All right, John, go ahead.
Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3 right down the middle. That's exactly where I'm going. I'm going Eagles over Giants just because I feel like they're finding their rhythm finally. And I think they're on a little hot streak. And you're right. The Giants, they can be hit and miss and shaky. Although I think that's going to be the closest one. I don't know. But I'm going to go Eagles. Would I love to pick the Chargers over the Green Bay Packers. But dear Lord, I would be an idiot if I did. The Packers are monstrous. Their offense is incredible, and their defense has been playing well. So I'm going Packers. And the Cardinals' defense is just incredible. Yeah, I can't not pick the Cardinals. Great defense. Carson Palmer, Fitzgerald. Go Cardinals.
Jets. Steph Z always picked the Jets, even if she knew they were gonna lose.
Yeah, true fan picks your team, man.
Yeah, I'm a real.
You're a realist.
I'm a realist. Let's be honest. I love my Chargers, but guys, no, we're not going to beat the Green Bay Packers.
You're not going to pick the Chargers either,
No,
are you?
I
we're not
want
gonna pick the Green Bay.
to,
We're not gonna
but
pick
I mean,
if they were at home, I would have picked them. But in Lambeau, I
Fine,
think the weather's
whatever.
kind
Kill
of.
the Lambeau.
I'm gonna keep it real with myself, And I'm going to pick the Giants over the Eagles.
I'm sorry, I thought she was going to be like, I picked the Jets over the... Just all of them are going to be Jets. Pick
No.
the Jets, and the Jets.
My Jets are going to beat the Redskins next week. Don't worry about
yeah.
it.
That's how
there's
we
no
all agree with
question.
that.
I got... I'm going
Except
to
Andy probably thinks the Redskins will be the
I mean,
Andy
unless
could.
we beat ourselves, which we've done before, I won't, I'm not going to, like, make any money bets on the Jets just yet. But I'm going to pick the I'm lying. I'm going to pick the Giants. Ooh, maybe that was a Freudian slip. Crap.
Oh, you took the Giants, though.
I'm going to take the Giants just because I have to. I feel like they're going to get it together. The Eagles are way too shaky. But I don't know. I'm going to pick the Giants, the Packers, and the Cardinals.
Okay.
Make it interesting, dude. Pick something different.
Well, I feel like I agree with you guys that the Giants-Eagles game is the toughest one to choose because really I think it all depends on Odell Beckham for the Giants, but even if he's back, he's not 100%. So I don't know, like who's the next wideout for them behind him?
Ruben Randall.
Yep. Randall. I don't think Cruz is coming back anytime. He's
No, Cruz. I think he's ever this season, actually. I was looking at my
poor guy,
fantasy.
man.
It doesn't look good.
I think I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going to just choose the Chargers because...
There it is. That a girl.
Make him feel bad.
Because what
I
if they
know,
actually
right?
do win? And
Yeah, then you would feel terrible
Then-
that you picked against your team and they won. That would be
If
like
we
the worst
won,
fan
you would-
ever.
Yeah, you would automatically win this whole section.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, okay, Eagle. And Ben knows, I didn't make too many rash decisions on my
No,
picks last
you
year.
were-
I was pretty spot on.
But
'cause
you
I
won it, so
I won.
By like
so-
2 games.
you don't have to. No, it was more than that.
Thank you.
Come on,
Thank
Ben.
you.
You don't have to apologize for being right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you
do. And then Steelers Cardinals, I agree with all of you guys. I just don't think I think the Cardinals are much better than the Steelers all around, and the Steelers are still trying to get their stuff together with Mike Vick, so I'm going to go Cardinals on that one, and yeah, we'll see
right.
what happens. So, Ben, thank you so
that was
much
great to be
for
here.
joining
Well,
us.
but time out.
Thank
I
you.
feel like since you were here when we started the predictions, that you have to play along with us for the rest of Monday Night Football.
You know I'll be commenting, so
call.
I suppose I can
You
do
can
that.
keep our tally, and every
include
week
myself.
you have to
Yes.
have your predictions.
All right,
with us.
I will.
Tell everyone where they can find you on Twitter.
You can find me at Fantasy Stat Guru.
Yes.
Yes, you can find me at KaibaCat, KaiBacat, KaibaCat.
And thank you, John, for your first
Hi,
episode.
my first
Yeah.
episode.
Yes.
Sorry to steal your thunder, man.
No, not at all. It was great. Are you
Normally
kidding?
you'd be the one that gets all excited. Oh, he's new.
No, this is way better. I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we left you 2 over there.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
in
growing
good
out.
company.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
in
growing
good
out.
company.
Yeah.
Veteran stuff. Where
You
they
guys can find me at IAMSCEFZ.
and you can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Tina Cap, and we will see you next week.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.